Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel, Tutoring Made Easy. For this particular journey, we're on a math journey to make math easy and enjoyable. If this is your first time coming in contact with our channel, we want you to do us a favor by subscribing, liking this video, and sharing to as many people as possible. If you have specific math topics that you want us to do a video on, feel free and drop it in the comment section as well, and we'll be more than willing to do those videos for you as well. Today, we're going to look at change of subject. We're going to do more tricky questions. I know we've done other videos on some questions on change of subject, but we want to do more tricky questions on change of subject. And the first question we are going to be doing today, we're going to be tackling today, we are going to imagine that we have A is equal to B divided by 2 minus C plus D. And we are being asked to make C the subject. We're going to make C the subject. Or we have to make C stand alone. Or to make C stand alone. Or C to stand alone. Yeah, stand alone. That's the objective. So the first thing is, if we look at this problem, we are going to start off with the imply symbol, because there's already equality sign in the question. Now we can also observe that this whole thing here, the whole thing here, it's a fraction. So we are going to also write this thing here, A, as a fraction, and D also as a fraction. And remember, we said that if you have 2, we have to write 2 as a fraction is the same as 2 divided by 1. If we want to write 100 as a fraction, is 100 divided by 1. So we're going to do the same thing for A. To write A as a fraction, that is simply going to be A divided by 1, or A over 1. So we're going to have A divided by 1 equals B divided by 2 minus C, and then we're also going to have plus D divided by 1. Now, remember that this side of the equal to sign is known as the left-hand side. And then we also have the whole of this side known as the right-hand side. If you look at the right-hand side, we can do something to it because each of them is a fraction. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite A divided by 1 equals, and solve this fraction. We solve this fraction by multiplying the 1 by this. We multiply the 1 by that. So we're going to get 1 times B, and then we are going to add it to the multiplication. We're also going to multiply D by 2 minus C. Okay. And then we're going to divide that by 1 multiplying 2 by C. 1 multiplying by 2 minus C. Now, we are using these rules from our fractions that we did. So please don't forget, we will cross multiply and also still multiply the denominator together. So that's where the magic is actually coming from, if you're wondering what's going on. So on the left-hand side, it's still going to be the same. We're going to have A divided by 1 equals, and this gives us 1 times B is B, and then we're going to have plus into parentheses. We're going to have this D multiplying the 2, so that we get 2D, and we're also going to get a D multiply the minus C, and we're going to get minus DC, all divided by 1 is going to multiply it by 2, get 2, and then the same 1 will multiply the minus C, and we're going to get minus C. So we are getting somewhere. We are going to have A over 1. So finally, we have A divided by 1 equals B plus 2D minus DC all over 2 minus C. Now, we're going to continue from here to start all over from there. We're going to have our A divided by 1, which is equal to B plus 2D minus DC all over 2 minus C. What are we going to do? We are going to cross multiply. Do you remember when we had A over B equals C over D? We said anytime you have an equal to sign separating a fraction and another fraction, we will just cross multiply. That's it. We're not going to do anything here. No, we're just going to cross multiply, and that's all. We multiply we cross multiply each other, and there we go. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do the same thing here. And to do that, we're going to have this, we're going to multiply that. So we're going to get A multiplying 2 minus C. It's equal to the 1. This 1 is multiplying the whole of what is on top there, which is B plus 2D, because that is the numerator. So it's going to multiply everything, and then that's it. So we're going to multiply this by that, and multiply this too by that, and then we are good. So here we're going to have this A multiply this, and we're going to get 2A. And then the same A multiplying minus C, we're going to get minus AC is equal to this 1 is going to multiply this B, we get B. 1 is also going to multiply the plus 2D, we get plus 2D. And then the same 1 is going to multiply this, we get minus DC. Now remember, we are trying to make C stand alone. And on the left-hand side, on this side, we have something with C here. And we also have C here. So we need to make sure they are together. So the first thing we're going to do is to make this one go away. So we're going to have minus AC here. It's equal to B plus 2D minus DC. And then the A, this 2A will move all the way to the other side, to the right-hand side. And then the sign of that 2A is going to change. You see 2A is a positive number. Once it crosses the equality sign, it becomes minus 2A, minus 2A. Now we are not done yet, right? You can see that we are not done yet. So what we're going to do is, on the right-hand side, we have this. We need to move it all over here. It needs to come here. So we have minus AC. Once this is coming over here to the left-hand side, it's going to change to plus DC. The sign here changes to plus DC. And then we have, and why are we doing that? We want C to stand alone. So we are bringing this anything with C together before we continue. So now we have the B standing here. Our plus 2D is also here. And then we have minus 2A right here. Now, if we look at the left-hand side, if we look at this, what the common thing among minus AC and plus DC is C. So we bring the C out, we factor C out, and then we are going to have inside, we're going to have minus A plus D. And it's going to give us B plus 2D minus 2A. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to divide, right? Yes, we're going to divide. We're going to have C into minus A plus D is equal to B plus 2D minus 2A. We are going to divide each side by the minus A plus D. We're going to divide by that. And divide it also by minus A plus D, like this. And then when we do that successfully, we end up getting this canceling this out. This one is also canceling that out. And then finally, we have C is equal to B plus 2D minus 2A, all divided by minus A plus D. All right. I hope this, helped. I hope this helped, and it's making things a bit easy. If it's a bit complicated, I'll advise that you take a little break. Just take a little break. Go and get some water. Take in some water. Take a little break. Just walk away. Just walk a little bit, maybe a minute walk. Come back, pause the video, go back, and you see that everything is going to come clear to you. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to take another question. We're going to take another one. A bit maybe a question that is going to be a little, should I say, a little more trickier? A little more trickier. I want us to solve something that is a bit trickier. So that's what we're going to be looking at. To make C the subject, we want to make to make X the subject. So let's start with this one. Imagine we have, let me use a yellow ink, sorry. Imagine we have 3 square root, and inside the square root you have X plus B. And on the right-hand side of the equation is A plus B. Now, remember, we are making X the subject. X the subject, don't forget. So to start, we always start with the implied sign. Why? Because we already have an equal to sign in the problem. So the next thing we're going to do, because we were looking for X is on the left-hand side. So the first thing is to divide each side by 3. So we can eliminate the 3. We don't need the 3. We want the X to stand alone. So to do that, we're going to have 3 square root of X plus B equals to A plus B. We divide each side by 3. Divide it by 3. And when we do that, when we are able to do that, this 3 cancels out, this, and then we are left with the square root of X plus B, and we are getting A plus B divided by 3, like that. Okay, now we are not done yet, because we need to look for X, and the X is, there's a certain hat. It's in kind of like a a tank. Something is covering the x. So we need to remove that tank. That tank there is the square root sign. So what do we do to the square root sign to eliminate that? Remember, we said when we have the square root, it means to the power of half. It means to the power of half, or the exponent. The exponent is half, okay? So it means that we can rewrite this as x plus b to the power of half is equal to a plus b divided by 3. So knowing this, we can square both sides. We can square both sides so that we can remove that half. So in doing so, we have x plus b to the power of half, and then we squared all that, and we are going to get a plus b divided by 3, and we also square that. Whatever we do to the left-hand side, we also have to do the same thing to the right-hand side. Why? Because there's an equality sign in the middle, which means that the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. So whatever we do to the left-hand side, we have to do the same thing to the right-hand side. It looks like they are twins. Whatever you do for one twin, you have to do it for the other. Anyway, so just so we can continue, this 2 here is going to cancel out, and we are left with x plus b is equal to a plus b divided by 3 all squared. And now we can be able to find our what? We can successfully find our x. How do we do that? We can keep this x here and have on the right hand side a plus b divided by 3 all squared, and then move this b over here. And in moving that, the b changes to what? A minus b. So finally, we have x to be equal to a plus b divided by 3 all squared, and then minus b. That's our final answer. I was thinking we should do more, maybe more complicated ones. So let's imagine. Maybe I'm going to do maybe a last one. Let's take a last one, and then let's see how that goes. I'm looking for one for us. Let's say that. Let's say I'm looking for a bit trickier one that we can actually use. Okay, so let's go to the next one. The next one we are going to see this question. You have this question here. We have a multiplying by this whole square root of x squared minus 2b divided by 3c plus 4d, like this. And this, there's a minus e here, and it's equal to ef squared. I know, this looks a little scary. But don't be scared. Don't feel scared at all, because that's the goal of this class, to make math enjoyable and comfortable. So what we're going to do is we are looking for x, and we know that x is on this side. Our x is here. Okay, it's still on the left hand side. So what do? We can first of all take this e away. Let this this e can move over here first. So we can have our implied symbol, a multiplied by x squared minus 2b divided by 3c plus 4d, and then you're going to have equal to sign is going to be here. You have our ef squared, and then the plus e is going to be here. Why? Because this e is crossing, this minus e is crossing the equal to sign, and then the sign will have to change. The sign changes. All right, so don't forget that. Now that we have our x over here, we can see that our x is attached to an a. So let's divide both sides by the a. So we're going to get x squared minus 2b divided by 3c plus 4d, which is equal to ef squared plus e. We're going to divide each side by a. We divide here also by a. And in doing so, we end up eliminating this a. And then we have only the square root of x squared minus 2b divided by 3c plus 4d. And then on the right hand side, we have ef squared plus e divided by a. Now, the next thing we can do, because our x is under a hat or a canopy, we can eliminate that. How do we do that? We can square both sides. All right, remember, we said that the square root is to the power of half. So squaring both sides, we're going to have x squared minus 2b divided by 3c plus 4d. All right, we have it to the power of half, and then we square both sides. Okay, this whole thing you are seeing here is the square root that you are seeing here. And then we are squaring both sides. And we have EF squared plus E divided by A also squared. Don't forget, whatever we do to the left-hand side, we have to do the same thing to the right-hand side because of the equality of the sign. All right? Now, when we square both sides, it eliminates this 2. And then we have x squared minus 2b divided by 3c plus 4d, because we're not eliminating that, is equal to E f squared plus E divided by A. Now, remember, our x is only attached to this 3c here. So we don't need this 4d on that side. Let's continue. Let's move over here. Come with me. Come with me. Let's crawl silently. Yeah, no one can hear us. Yeah, finally we are here. We are here. We made it. So we're going to have our x squared minus 2b divided by 3c, and then we're saying that our equal to sign will come. We have EF squared plus E divided by A, and we move the 4D to this side, it becomes minus 4D, this one. This plus 4D will change because it is coming over here. It becomes minus 4D. Now, we'll continue by, on the right-hand side, we can see that we have to simplify the right-hand side here because it's a fraction. So what do? We subtract the fraction. So we're going to have this 4d just the same as over 1. That's going to multiply that. We're going to have 1 multiplying the EF squared plus E. And then we are going to have plus this A multiplying the minus 4d. The minus 4d. All right? Let me take it that. I think I'm not writing it on the screen. So let's take that again. I'm saying that we're going to should I use the white? Yeah, I think I should use the white. We're going to multiply the 1 by the EF squared plus E, and then we're also going to multiply the A by that. So we're going to have into bracket A multiplied by minus 4D, and then we're having divided by this A times 1. A times 1. If the sign here was an equal to sign, we don't have to multiply the A times 1. We don't have to do that. But this is fractions, subtraction of fractions. So that's what we do. And then on the right-hand side, we have x squared minus 2b divided by 3c. Divided by 3c. So now, we are going to have x squared minus 2b, x squared minus 2b, x squared minus 2b divided by 3c. And that is going to give us EF squared, all right? Because this one will multiply this, you get EF squared. And that same one will multiply the E, you get plus E. And then we are going to get, this A is going to multiply that, we get minus 4AD, and all divided by A times 1, which is A. Now, remember, we cross multiply. We cross multiply. So this is going to multiply that, we get A multiplying x squared minus 2b. Okay, and then it's equal to this 3c is going to multiply everything. So 3c is multiplying the whole thing. It's going to the EF squared plus the E minus the 4AD, like that. That's it. Now, what do we get? This A multiplies this, we get AX squared. The same A multiplies the minus 2B, we get minus 2AB. Minus 2AB, and then we continue. We're going to have, oops. We're going to have, it's equal to, well, minus 2AB. It's equal to this 3C, we multiply that, we get 3CEF squared plus the 3C is going to multiply, we get plus 3CE. And then this one is also going, we're going to get minus 12. Can you see that? We're going to get minus 12 minus 12 CAD, like that. But remember, we're looking for X. We want X to stand alone. So to do that, this AX will need to stand here alone. We are going to have equal to 3CEF squared plus 3CE minus the 12CAD. And then this minus 2AB comes to the other side. It becomes plus 2AB. And what are we going to get? We have to divide both sides by A to find our X. So we're going to get X squared. This A cancel out. X squared is equal to 3CEF squared plus 3CE minus 12CAD plus 2, plus 2AB divided by A. Now we are not done yet. Our final answer is to take the square root. If you can see that, I don't know where you can see that. We're going to take the square root of the x squared. Square root, whatever we do to the left hand side, we do to the right hand side. So we take the square root of x squared so that we can have x. Okay, so this is going to be the square root of the 3CEF squared plus 3CE minus 12CAD plus 2AB all divided by A. So that gives us our final answer. I'd like to end here today. When we come back another time, we'll be taking more questions from different topics that we have treated so far. I hope it helped. If it's blurry and not clear, I'll advise that you pause the video, take a little break, take some water, walk a little bit, come back, and then you see everything will be coming clearly. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please do us a favor. It's a family, so you can help us grow this channel together and to help as many people as possible, so that in this math journey, people will enjoy math and be comfortable doing it in the process. All right, I'll come to you another time. Take care and bye.